You want to put something underneath that back leg to tilt it down.
Yeah, that'll work. Perfect.
Just
All right.
enough.
Yeah, I think we're recording on both. I'll get my coat on.
Here comes the rooster, yeah.
Keep singing, brother. Keep singing.
Are we just gonna talk and then you'll do an intro like later?
No, I'll do the intro now.
Oh yeah.
I got it all set up.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it'll go all right.
I want to be as relaxed as possible. I think we get really good when we're relaxed.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's always my thing. I guess. That's why the thing I did with Jeff was good because we were just talking. I think that's what makes it so difficult to.
Let's see what we can get done here.
You look good.
Yeah, you look great, brother. Hi, and welcome to the You Can Too podcast. I'm your host, Eric Cantu. The podcast where we dive deep into journeys of entrepreneurs who are building, hustling, and making and sharing real changes with the community that they're working in. Today we have a very special guest with us, Jacob Hooter. He's a serial entrepreneur who started with a degree in music and education from Baylor, then pivoted into real estate investing, running a liquidation company, launching some hospitality food trucks, and more. Jacob is also an international athlete, a Christian gospel musician, and on top of that, his wife, Dr. Joy Hooter, owns and runs her own audiology practice here in Waco, Texas. Jacob's story is not just about business. It's about faith, it's about family, it's about community, and we're so lucky to have him here with us today on the podcast. Jacob, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, it's good to see you.
It's great to see you too, man.
I sound like a real person.
Believe it or not, you have lived a day or two here.
Dude,
so.
Man, every day I get older and I'm like, man, I should be doing more. That makes it sound like I've done a lot.
You have done a lot, right? I mean, I think when you look back on your life, you do a lot of accomplishments, but you're in that moment. You might not realize what's going on.
Little by little by little.
So let's, part of the podcast here is that we want to add value to those that are listening,
okay,
as well as we want to spotlight, all the wonderful things you've done, and then share some lessons along the way that we've had. All right. So to kind of start, so you started with music education, right? And then you moved into hospitality, right? With Zuki's Cookies, is that what
No, had a brief stint in the corporate world.
Okay.
So music education, graduated, got married, moved away. Couldn't find a job with music education. Lived in Seattle. And so ended up working for Starbucks as a barista, right? College graduate.
That's a corporate step.
That's
right
the
there.
corporate step, is moving into Starbucks.
An entry-level position.
Making $10 an hour,
Okay.
And
that's more than minimum wage.
well, it was, but just barely, it felt like. And worked there and had a great team. And that's kind of my first foray into structure, like corporate structure and what that looks like. Then we moved to Vermont, following her with her doctorate. To
Washington University, right?
Well, she was at UW in Seattle.
University of Washington.
And then was at Dartmouth for her externship.
Okay.
So she's pretty accomplished herself, and I just go where she goes.
I understand. Right, those cocktails, baby.
But worked for Starbucks, transferred, which is a great story after when I quit Starbucks. But ended up working for Enterprise.
The rental car company.
Which is a great company. Learned a lot of lessons, but through that decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to open up a business.
Is that one of the lessons you learned in Enterprise, was wanting to be an entrepreneur, or is that something that always kind of burned? And
looking back on it, I could say that I've had an experience my whole life with trying to do things like selling bubble letter art in 5th grade.
Okay.
I can look back that far and go, maybe I was an entrepreneur early on, but the path is always to go get a job.
Right.
You go to college, get a job, and
that's what we're taught.
But working for Enterprise taught me a ton. But the biggest thing is if you got bad management, you definitely don't want to work there, and I think that's true for pretty much any industry.
What are some examples of bad management? What does that look like, sound like? Because you hear it all the time, right? People say, I hate my boss, I hate my job, and recently I heard this tale of two stories where same employee working in one hospitality hotel,
Mm-hmm.
loves it. He has a second job at another hotel, can't stand it, hates it, right? They asked him what the difference was. And what he said was, well, the difference is here, the managers come by and they ask me if there's anything they can do to help me.
Oh, sure.
Over there, they walk by and all they do is point out all the things you're doing wrong.
Right.
And so there, I put my head down and work. Here, I can be me, right? Because I'm empowered to do things. So anyway.
Well, I think that's a great point. My biggest takeaway is, and you asked specifically what's bad management.
Yeah.
I think caring for the people that are working underneath you is probably the greatest thing you can do, to have genuine care.
Mm-hmm.
Bad managers don't do that. There could be a slew of other things. They're bad at communication. They're always putting the company over the people, right? Profit over people. But a great manager makes you excited to show up to work because you get to be a part of that team, because they're a part of that team. And there's that old kind of picture of what a great manager is. There's the pyramid, and then there's guys pulling the pyramid, and then a great manager is down there kind of with them. And I think people take that the wrong way. It's not necessarily that the manager's in the trenches with you. It has to feel that way, but the manager's job is to make sure that when you're in the trenches, you don't mind being there. And you'll do anything for a great manager.
I'll be honest, right? I've managed a lot, 250 people, at, maybe more than that. And it's always been the people that tell me things like, you're the best manager I ever had. Wherever you go, I'm going to go with you. It's like, I hate hearing that, because that tends to be the moment that employee changes. And that employee doesn't quite perform the same way after that statement. And I've seen that over and over and over. I've been told that a lot, And so, as an entrepreneur, you're the manager, you're the owner, you're the CEO, you're the CFO, you're wearing every hat that needs to be worn.
Yeah.
You made the comment earlier about, profit over people. As an entrepreneur, you know the books, you know where you stand, you know where everything's at, you feel that stress, you feel that pain. How can you, when they're asking for more money and you want to do it, you just can't, or they're upset and frustrated. Maybe they're feeling undervalued for whatever that reason is, right? As a manager, as a CEO, entrepreneur, how do you kind of, manage that? Because,
well, for me, my next step after enterprise was opening up Jalou Italian Ice. It was a licensed use, so it was food truck. We started with a cart, went to, we had probably 4 trucks, a brick and mortar, 2 carts, that kind of thing. We were running and gunning, COVID, the whole thing, right? And we had great people. I was really, really careful with who we hired, that they were a good culture fit, personality-wise, because you can't really teach personality. You can teach people steps to have, welcome people in, guide them through the process. You can have these steps to your service and your system, but personality is what wins customers.
So when you were thinking of your culture, what was the culture you had that you were looking for somebody to fit? And then when you're interviewing people, how did you measure that? How did you?
Well, what was the question before that?
The question before that was good managers, bad managers, examples of what that looks like.
Well, we were asking about employees.
How did you do it as an entrepreneur? Show that care for your employees.
Well, I think more specifically, I was going to target you were asking about, they want more money. They feel. And I see the same thing where it's like, man, I love working here. This is great. And then there can be a shift. I think what ends up happening is it's like anything. People get into, they take things for granted, right? Like, because I know other entrepreneurs, I know how they treat their employees. Not all of them are good. They don't care that your mama died. You had a shift. Show up for your shift. Although I never had anybody's mama die. At least that I know of. But the reality is, I think people are like, man, this is really great. And then if there's any downturn or anything that they feel that they're not special anymore, there could be some hesitation. Or they always think that as a business owner, you're making a ton of money.
That is the thought, isn't it?
They always think that because they see the business that you're doing.
Yeah.
But the more business you do, the higher the expense. And but with pay specifically, we had great staff, and I was pretty transparent with them. Hey, this is what I want to pay you. Here's what I can afford to pay you. If that's not enough, just know where my heart is, what I want to do for you. I'd like you to make $100,000 scooping Italian ice. That'd be great. It's just not feasible. We're selling, $3, $4, $5 items. So 12 an hour is going to have to do.
Have you ever ran in that position where the employee kind of outgrew their position, but you didn't really have another spot for them to move into that was growth for them? Because growth in a company or a corporation, that's important nowadays. Like, people want to come in and they want to see that they're going to have an ability to grow or make more.
Yeah.
And the more structured that can be, to get there,
the easier it becomes to retain.
Right.
I mean, we had most of our employees at the time when we were running 20, 25 employees, were somewhere between the ages of 16 and 25. We had a couple that were, seniors, not in the 25-year-old bracket. For the most part,
like 55, 60, you're saying?
Like 65,
okay.
70, yeah. But we had, for the most part, we had folks that kind of either wanted to work with us, or this was their first step in their career. So this was not ever going to be their landing place. But we did, as we grew, we did have management positions, and we promoted those people that had the ability and skill set. We hired folks that had a great. I try to take in what their natural inclination is, right? I don't really want people forcing something that's not already there, because then they end up hating the job. But for me, let's say you're great at hospitality. I'm going to put you to where you are teaching other people how to be great at hospitality. If you're great at inventory, like that, you're going to be inventory manager. If you're detail oriented, you can do schedules. Awesome. If you're great with people, then I'm going to probably have you overseeing other people so that you can filter out the problems that then goes to the scheduler, that then goes to me, right? Trying to just land people with what their natural talents are to the next managerial position.
How do you teach that skill? How do you teach that skill to know what people's natural talents are?
Well,
because you kind of do it innately, right? Like,
yeah.
You'll go out and you can feel.
It's a gut thing for me.
Yeah.
And I think what people go wrong is they think, hey, a person's doing great at this job, let me put them at the next job, right? The natural part of a business owner or a manager goes, hey, they're really good at this one particular thing. I think they'll be good at this one too. And then they shift them up. And 6 months later, that person quits because they hate their job, they're not enjoying what they're doing. Over here, they've been fine having that position. I think you do things like skills tests, what's the 4-letter one? Like DISC.
Yeah, DISC is one.
DISC is one, and
they have the color charts, the animals, the
numbers. They got the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think there's a wide variety of things you can do. I actually really like playing a game. So when I hire people to get the culture right, I really need people that operate at a particular. You could call it a frequency. I'm not really into frequencies, but like it's a particular wavelength of thought process. But I can work around that. And so the game that I use is catchphrase. You familiar with catchphrase?
Roughly, familiarize myself with it.
So usually you're in a team. It's every other person. Let's say you have 10 people, 5 on, 1, 5 off, and every other person is on your team. And this catchphrase game is giving you a phrase or a word. So let's say the word was football, right? We're here at McLean Stadium.
Shout out to Baylor Club.
Baylor Club, letting us up here.
Absolutely.
If you're ever here, come by.
Come by the Baylor Club, look us up. We'll bring you out, have some lunch.
It's awesome. Gets to check out the stadium, the river view. It's like one of 2 stadiums on the river. Did you know that? It's Baylor University in Tennessee.
That's it?
That's it. Yeah. Anyway, so catchphrase, words football. We want to go through this, and I'm going to describe to you, you're on my team, what this is. I'm going to say things like pigskin, Friday Night Lights, that kind of thing. And you yell out football, boom, and I pass it to the next team. The next team, they get a new word, they keep going like that. I do it a little different. So I'll do it in a group setting. So hey, we're doing a team meeting.
Multiple applicants in this group setting,
Yeah,
or is it all
multiple
team members?
No.
So you do a group interview.
A group interview.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So I've already talked to you on the phone, or I've already met you.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do a team meeting. You get to understand our culture, who we are, right? That's really important for them.
So how many team members from the team are there for this meeting?
10?
For this interview?
10 to 12?
10 to 12
team meeting
already on the payroll W-2 employees.
Yes. And they're getting paid for their time.
Sure.
We're going to handle business so that they see how we handle business. And then we also are going to do this catchphrase. So it feels like a game, because it is a game. But it's actually, they don't realize this, but this is...
How many interviewees are there, though?
4.
Okay, so about 15 people or so.
Yeah.
All right. And
because I already know the people that are on the team, this is something that came after I've made hires. And honestly, when you're starting up, you take who you can get. As you grow, it's like, hey,
you start with who you know.
You start with who you know,
right.
and hopefully it works out. And if it doesn't, they got to be people that you're okay letting go.
That's right.
You got to be okay firing people. But as we're playing this game, the people that I already know that are great at their jobs, I know how their brain operates, how they think. And so we'll do one round kind of normal, but then the second round is you get as many possible chances to get a word from everybody in the group. So I'm seeing not only how are you in a kind of a group dynamic, are you fun, energetic, that kind of thing, are you naturally inclined to be, but the game kind of lets the guard down. And then the next step is how good are you at disseminating information and receiving information? And that's huge. I mean, it's communication. And so if you're sitting there on the word princess and you can't find other words to help me understand what it is that you're looking at, to me it's a red flag. Same thing if you're on the other end of it, we flip back and forth. So it's like, how many can each individual person get, right? And then the flip side is, how many can you give, right? So there's both aspects of it. So when you play the game of catchphrase, you learn how they operate, how they think. Some people are, what I've learned, are very fast processors, right? They can't get the words out fast enough. And then other people are very thoughtful, and they'll sit there for a second, and then they go, all right, I've already deciphered what of the words is best. I'm going to say this one thing because I think that's going to get the answer fastest. So you learn, are people kind of, what's the word when they, extrovert, not extroverted, but
external processors.
External processors, internal processors.
I want to throw 2 more at you.
Sure.
Microwave thinker versus a crock pot thinker.
Yeah.
With a microwave thinker, bam, 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 quick, fast. They got the crock pot thinker.
Yeah.
Slow down. They process it more. You think it out.
And not to say one's better than the other.
No, there is no.
There is no.
It's just different.
But if I know how you think, I can then best communicate with you.
Was it like hired by committee? Did you listen to the other team members?
No. We it was always through me, and I think there's a natural gut check. There's how people present themselves when they show up for an interview, how they conduct themselves on the phone, how they conduct themselves I want honest and real people, and the thing that I don't want, and I think that people get wrong all the time, and I don't care if you're going for a job for Scooping Italian Ice, or you're going for a job as a doctor at a hospital. Like, people want authenticity, and they want a real answer. Don't give me the answer that you think I want, because you don't know what I want. If we're sitting through here and I'm going, hey, what attracts you to this job? Be real. If it's, hey, it's paying $20 an hour and I could really use that, say that. Don't say, well, I really want an opportunity to learn how to schedule and blah, blah, blah. That's not a thing people want. I'm asking you a real desire question. Give me a real answer.
It's great advice for anyone out there interviewing.
Anybody out there interviewing,
be yourself.
Be yourself.
If you don't get the job because of it,
it's not the right thing.
That's okay.
That's right.
You're going to hate it anyway.
That's right. Don't change who you are to get a job, because when you get into that job, yeah, you might be making the money you want, but you ain't going to like the job. Or they may find that you're a different person than they thought, and they may not like you.
Right.
So it's just better to be yourself, answer as honest as possible. Anyway, so.
All right, so we started off with you in education.
Yep.
You had this epiphany when you were working for Enterprise to want to, go out and be an entrepreneur.
Double-sided drive-through coffee shops. That's what I wanted to do.
I remember you talking about that.
That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Being in the Northeast and Northwest, they already had them. And Texas is a commuter state. We don't really have mass transit, but we do have cars, and lots of them. And it didn't exist in Waco. I did a bunch of research and found one in San Antonio that ran like 7 locations called On the Grind. But this is before Dutch Brothers was big. This is before Seven Brew was big. Starbucks now has even started doing these models, and it made a ton of sense, right? The footprint was small, the traffic was great, in and out speed, it was convenience.
So that brings me.
That's what I started.
That brings you to another question because, okay, the liquidation, the 254 floors, the flipping pallets, right? The
which we had
real estate, the real estate. How do you choose with all the business opportunities out there, all of the creative juices, and thinking about, well, there's a void in the market here. There's how do you know? How do you choose which one to go into?
Well, that's a really great question. I think everybody has a different answer. Again,
tell us about your answer.
Well, so in the market, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I'm an opportunist. And I also, to the point of the people that work for managers that only point out the bad things, that's my natural inclination. Is to always see the discrepancy. And I had to learn how to approach the discrepancy in a different light so that it doesn't feel like I'm always hounding on people, right? Because that's just my natural, I see the world in a black and white view. With the coffee shops, what I noticed, I was always intrigued by them in Seattle. There was one called Bigfoot Java right outside. I was like, man, what a great name. And they all had these really cool names, and it was kind of gimmicky, but not so much. And people swore by whatever their local drive-through was. You know,
they built a following.
They built a following, a cult following. And for me, I realized, man, we don't have those here. Why don't we have those here? I got to looking into it and go, yeah, this is a real opportunity. Your footprint's small, your startup cost is small, right? Like, I didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars from working for Enterprise or Starbucks.
Good.
You know, I was trying to seek out financing, particularly an SBA loan, with a local lender here, the only local lender in town that does it at the time. Maybe there's more now. And I said, you know what? I've got a job, but I really want to give this a shot because I'm working 60 hours a week. I got a 2-year-old at the house, and I'm missing out on a lot of things because I'm working 60 hours a week to make $50,000. And I start crunching the numbers, and I go, even if, right, real conservative gesture, like I should replace my income working probably the same hours at this coffee shop. Now, you and I both know when you own a small business now, like maybe there's rosy glasses, but you're definitely going to work more than 60 hours. You just are. But it's
doesn't feel like it, though. Doesn't feel like it.
You know, when you're doing it for yourself, you don't mind putting in the hours. Now, your family still feels the brunt of it.
Amen.
Your family still feels it. So I've now decided, hey, there's an intense startup period of 3 to 6 months, and you got to get it there, and then you can kind of step out, unless you're building it without you in it, and you're just kind of a puppet master. But the coffee thing was really unique to me because I saw how loved it was in Seattle, and when I came here and I realized people aren't doing that, what do we have? Well, we have Sonic, right? Sonic was it. People would drink Sonic, Route 44, 66, whatever it was.
Cherry limeade, baby, all day long.
Dr. Pepper's, Diet Dr. They would drink, they'd get them in the morning. And this is from my childhood.
That Route 44,
the big thing. And they would drink it all day long, which to me is disgusting, but that's what they do. And that really put to me I was like, man, people like drinks. And then as I got into it, I realized, oh, well, this is actually a recession-proof business because when you don't have money for vacations, you still have money for little treats, little $5 here, $7 there, whatever the case may be. And the startup cost was so low, I thought, all right, well, let's try it. So when I was working for Enterprise, I decided to seek financing. It took a year. During that time, stopped working for Enterprise. Technically got fired.
We'll get into that later.
But
we'll talk about good employees, bad employees later.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's how I learned. No,
NAI employees. Anyway.
So when I decided to do this, get financing, and after a year of them going, yeah, you're good, and spending tens of thousands of dollars, I was like, man, I need to do this. I was unemployed by that time, and I like I said, I'm an opportunist. Came across an opportunity to be the first licensee for a product called Jalou. It's an Italian ice. It's phenomenal. So, but they happen to move their headquarters from Colorado to Houston. And I'm talking on the phone with my brother. He's like, hey, I heard about this company. You should actually meet them when you're down here. So on our anniversary trip to Houston, Joy and I were celebrating our 5th or 6th anniversary. We called them up. They're like, yeah, meet us at the thing. It was a Saturday. So we met them at their plant where they manufacture everything. Got to meet the people. Hey, the startup cost is $15,000. Here's what it all comes with. And this is September of 2019. And I go, you know what? I've got the capital on hand to do it. I don't have to go into debt. I don't have to get extra financing. Let's try it. And I put a timeline. It was really interesting. I put a timeline. I said, if the bank doesn't call me by this Friday, I'm going to tell Jalou I'm in. And Friday came. Friday went.
No bank call.
No bank call.
Now this was for the funding for the coffee.
For the coffee, yeah.
Got it.
And they wanted to dictate where it went, how it went.
The bank did?
The bank did. And everywhere I picked a location, they told me wouldn't work, now has a double-sided drive-through coffee shop. In fact, every location that I picked.
Let's not say the bank. We'll avoid that.
Oh, I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
But every location. So there's 7 of them in town.
Yeah,
every single
and a
one.
new one just went in?
New one just goes in.
We've had,
There's 4-7 Brews, there's 2 Dutch Brothers, there's all kinds.
And but all 7 have gone in within the last 2.5 years.
Yes, and I would have been 7 years in front of them.
And you would have had 7 locations.
There wouldn't be a spot for them to go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, other opportunities, other doors. This
Yeah.
opportunity came.
Mm-hmm.
Bank didn't call.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go, Jalou. I will say, I
so-
was in education.
Uh-huh.
I had pregnant ladies that worked there.
Uh-huh.
Jalou was their go-to
Yeah, pregnant
all
ladies do like
the
it.
time.
They love Jalou.
Like when we could get
They
you
give you
guys,
heartburn.
we could get you guys out to the
Mhm.
school. Oh my gosh, the whole school. I mean, the whole district.
Yeah,
went
it's
crazy.
great. Weren't they great?
It was great.
Yeah,
Anything I could do to help.
Well, we worked really, really hard to grow, and so Monday came, right, and guess who called?
The bank.
The bank called Monday.
And
And
you
I
said, too late.
Sorry about you. And because to me, it was a God thing.
That's exactly where I was going to go, right? So that was your
Yeah.
faith.
Yeah.
That was your prayers. That
Mhm.
was your talking to God, and
Yeah.
that's the answer you received. And by God,
It
you better
was-
do it that way then.
It was God holding me from something
Uh-huh.
more than me forcing a situation.
Right.
It was just God holding.
You were listening.
Yeah.
You were open.
Well, I was really trying hard, and at some point you go, well, either this is not for me, or I have to try harder, right? And if you can't try harder, it probably ain't for you. And by the grace of God, it wasn't for me. And I look at that, and I tell my wife all the time, like, all these locations, we'd have been rich, you know? We'd be flying high. And
But you might not be,
and my wife says all the time, it just wasn't for you.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me. And honestly, it happens in a lot of things. And I think my lens and a lot of entrepreneur lenses are geared towards seeing the world through that discrepancy. Like, what are we missing? What are we lacking? This would be a neat idea. Some people have a unique system inside of them that they can filter those ideas, run them through the scenarios, and spit out and go yes or no. Not everybody does. Some people go, this is a great idea. I want to sell lollipops for dogs. Now you and I would go, that ain't gonna work. But they really believe in it. They spend $10,000 doing it, and then 2 months later they shut down. And you go, and then it's like, well,
okay, but honestly, you're lucky that you only lost $10,000 at that point.
Well, that's true.
You're happy about that because
Well, they're not happy about
it could easily be a million, 150.
But not everybody has that gut check, so I think it's always important to like refer to other people to get input, not because, particularly from other entrepreneurs.
So with that, have you paid for coaching? Have you done any coaching?
I have. Yeah.
Have you liked it?
Well, either through coaching or consulting.
Sure.
Trying to do the double-sided drive-through was a consulting company that I was working with. I thought, there's a lot that I don't know here,
Mhm.
but they do. In real estate, I paid for coaching in real estate. With Jalou, you do a license, and I was the first licensee, right? So like the company was learning from me as much as I was learning from them. But yeah, education's super important. Whether it's webinars, seminars, with real estate particularly, did a bunch of like online stuff before jumping into it. And if you don't do the education side, and even if you do, you're still going to spend money on mistakes and learning through the world of hard knocks.
And what do they say? Even the best in the world have coaches, right? Even
Michael Jordan
had coach, right? LeBron had coach. They all have coaches. Tiger Woods had coach. They all have coaches, right? Yeah. The best in the world still need a coach, and they pay for them, right? Rafael Nadal, coach, right? Pete Sampras, coach, right? And I think that's important. That a lot of people don't quite. They see the cost of what it takes to coaching, and have a hard time seeing the return on that investment. And I also, I was in education for a long time, right? And so. It broke my heart to see the teachers working so hard to try to help kids learn, but the kids just have no desire to want to learn.
Yeah.
Because those habits that they're learning at those younger ages are going to be the habits that they take with them for the rest of their life. And that's going to be real gut-wrenching when they get older, for sure. But anyway.
When I was doing music education, teaching private lessons, everybody thinks their kids should have private lessons at 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. That's not, maybe. If they want to be there. Otherwise, wait till they decide that they want to do it. Not because you think it's better for them to be well-rounded that they need to take piano.
Wait till he's 12 and wants to show off for a girl because he's going to be a lot more interested.
Listen, you can condense everything that they're going to learn forcefully over 5, 6, 7 years. You can condense that down in 6 months when they want to learn.
Yeah.
And when their body's old enough to maneuver a keyboard or a guitar or a saxophone, whatever it is. And I think the same thing is true for entrepreneurs. How many people, I don't know what the average age is for an entrepreneur, but I think it's in their 40s or 50s. They've already had a career. And essentially what they've replaced in coaching is that career. Oftentimes they're spinning off in that career to do something. They're not starting something outside. But you can condense down a lot, I think, with coaching, with somebody who does it currently or has done it at the level that you want it to be. And with today's AI and everything else, it's become much more affordable to have coaches that are meaningful, that are the right kind of coaches.
I agree with you 100%, man. All the way through, right? So you've mentioned Joy a few times. I'd be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about Joy, your wife, the doctor of audiology, owns her own audiology practice.
It's a hard word to say, isn't it?
It is, to get it out 2 or 3 times in a row.
The things that their equipment's like audiometer and something. It's like the whole thing is you need to learn how to read it before you can say it, and I hadn't learned how to read it yet.
It's that medical terminology you got to get, right? So real quickly, Joy, right? She's got an impressive journey.
Yeah, she's very impressive.
So she graduated with honors. She's been working in audiology for 9 years. She owns her own practice called Hooter Hearing. At which point did she decide to take the leap to be independent? Right? She got her graduate, got her degree, went to go work for Baylor Scott & White. Yeah. Right, and then took the leap of faith in entrepreneurship. That's hard for people, or it's easy. How was it for you guys?
I think she would say it was extremely difficult and took a long time. She grew up going same thing, right? Go to college.
That's what you're taught. We were taught all the same thing,
right? Because the job is security, and I think particularly for women, security means more than men. I think men go, I'll just make more money. But even from different relationships, like friends that I have, that their relationships, like their wife wants the security, and maybe that's a biological thing, maybe it's a societal thing, I don't know. But for her, it was a terrifying decision. For the first 5 years, for the first 2 years, I worked for basically enterprise, and then I started entrepreneurship. And she was still making that paycheck. Year 5, year 6, she was not feeling appreciated at her job.
Got it.
Not feeling supported. And you can't do that for decades. You could, but after about another year of that, she's like, maybe I should do my own. Now, obviously, she's seen me. She was watching me do my thing, and I think
saw how easy you made it.
Yeah, see how easy it is.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think seeing me and having me encourage her to do it, so that when she decided to take the leap of faith, it was not as terrifying. And I don't think it took her but like a month. She's like, oh yeah, this is great. I get to make my own schedule, deal with the patients that I want to, and there's that initial, at least with a clinic, unless you buy one that's existing, that's full-fledged, you have some more free time, right, to kind of dream and think. And then that ramps up, and now you're back in full clinician mode. And so now where we're at is she's full clinician, but she's also full business owner. And you can't necessarily do both in the 40-hour work week. And you're also mom, and you're also training for the Grand Canyon. And so I've taken...
And your wife.
And your wife.
It's not like you're real easy to...
But she's got to do it with me, yeah. So I've actually stepped in and started doing more CFO, marketing stuff, the website build, all those things that... Trying to take some decisions off, right? Because decision fatigue is a real thing. And try to allow her to just be the clinician as much as possible, except for where I need her information as a clinician to facilitate.
So what you're building out with the marketing and stuff, is that her vision that you're executing, or is it your vision and then she kind of says yes or no?
Yeah.
Like, what's that relationship? Because it can get,
it's really pretty good partners. As a clinician, she's phenomenal. She's the best in town. She may be the best in the state. I don't know. I don't know how you gauge that.
I would say if you're good enough to be the best in the state, you might be the best in the world.
Might be the best in the world.
Just like you, right?
She really is patient focused, and so the patient problems weigh on her, whereas they don't weigh on me. I don't know. I don't care that your hearing aid broke. It doesn't bother me. I don't care that it's not working the way it needs to. But as a clinician, that's her concern. I care, can I get more people in the door, right? Can we help more people? And how do I get them to see us so that they can be helped? So I focus on, to answer the question, it is really, she takes care of the patients. The aesthetics are already in place. I'm coming in on the back end going, I'm going to build this website. I'm going to utilize AI and the information I have to make it as reachable as possible. And then with marketing and everything else, I'm taking that on. And I then present it to her, right? I go, hey, I wrote this blog post, with the help of AI, read it, is the information correct? So instead of her having to sit down and write blogs, and instead of her sitting down and figuring out, does mailers work? She didn't need to think about that. I'm just coming to her going, hey, by the way, we signed up for the Chamber of Commerce today. Why? Well, because we're going to get a backlink on their webpage, more visibility, more trust, and then it's going to help us rank higher and
more branding, more credibility,
all the things.
Authentic.
She doesn't need to worry about that, right? Because she's in the clinic all day. Now we're hiring another audiologist.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And she will have more time to facilitate those things. But for now, I'm just executing what I know will work. And then I'm going to her and going, hey, would you look this over? Is there anything you want changed? That makes her life a lot easier, and it keeps the engine going. And it feels like we're just operating at light speed that way. But I also know there has to be limits. Like I can't go to her at the middle of the day and go, hey, take a look at this website. And I can't go to her at night when we're at home and we're with the kids or whatever. I have to go, hey, please make 5 minutes to read over that blog post. Send me anything you want corrected. And so just recently we started where it's like, hey, just send me a list of things you want me to look at. What things you want me to manage.
Okay.
Because I think it's really hard when you're in a clinic to also prioritize the business side of things. And so she may send me 10 things, but I'm like, well, these 3 things I don't need to worry about today. And these 2 things, this is really pressing, this is not. And not everybody's, brain operates that way. And so if I can, mine does. Like, hey, this is really not important.
This reminds me of what I've heard called like a situational leader, right? Where because you're so talented, you can fit many roles.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's your number one,
mm-hmm.
right? I get that. And so it almost like you're coming in, you're seeing a need and you're filling the need that's
mm-hmm.
there. Not only because the need is there, but to protect her as well.
Yeah.
Right? Because you mentioned things about, that thought fatigue is real. Right?
is.
And making sure that she has that ability to still be in the moment, to still be present, to still, and you kind of help with some of those things. I think that's wonderful. Have you guys ever gotten into it about an idea or a thought, or it's pretty much been?
No. I mean, I think if you're not ever at a friction point, then I mean the reality is I believe that iron sharpens iron.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one way that happens. It's through friction.
Mm-hmm.
It's through rubbing against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so it could be a miscommunication. It could be a variance of understanding, right? Like again, she's a clinician, so she understands that world far better than I do. She understands HIPAA regulations. I do not. So when we're doing things, and I have these ideas, right? Because I'm an idea guy, and to your point, I actually view myself as a through two terms: servant leader, and through a facilitator. Like I position myself to be a Swiss Army knife for whatever situation is needed, right? And there's times where I have to default to whatever it is that she's saying because she knows best. What I do well is I present ideas. And so, hey, what do you think about if we changed up to where we're doing deposits on this and this and that? And what if we change this, so that we're not chasing money? What if we do this, right? All these ideas that I have from other businesses to utilize in ours, and she may go, well, we can't do that because it impacts this deal and this contract, or this HIPAA thing. But what we could do is this, right? I think there was one time where if I wasn't her husband, I think it may have been a little different. If I was like the CFO of the company specifically, and we weren't married, but because I'm her husband, I think sometimes again I look at it not so much as she's an employee, right? Because as an employee, I would soften certain language and maneuver things and how I did, describe stuff.
No need to beat around the bush here.
Right. Here, I just feel like I can just go right at it. And when I do that, it can feel like I am maybe reprimanding her, right? Because I do have a more direct personality. I always have, and I've had to learn how to soften that to be a better manager of people. So one particular time, like, she's just like, boom, hey, like, I've already made this decision, we're doing it. And I said, wait a second. I was like, that may be how you feel. I said, but that's not what is best for the company. And so we had to discuss that. It was super short, right? But it's really uncomfortable for her. And so I have to evaluate, well, why did this happen? Well, she felt the way she felt because of how I was presenting. So I have to make sure I presented in a better manner. But also it was in the middle of the day. Right, so like she's
already distracted.
She's already doing stuff. Yeah. And again, it's being a better people manager. And I think that's the case for any relationship. Like, if you want to get direct feedback or you need to get something done, you have to have immense focus for it. But does it need to happen right this second? No, probably not. I could have waited. And what I probably should have done is go, hey, when do you have 5 minutes or 10 minutes to schedule me so we can talk about this? Hey, if you miss a patient, that doesn't mean that, if somebody doesn't show up, doesn't mean that she doesn't have time, or doesn't mean that she has time.
She has other things
She
to
has
do.
other things to do.
Yeah.
So we've gotten better at that throughout time.
Sweet. Yeah, y'all. So you're still sounds like you got a good thing going, but you're looking at the rhythm, right? The rhythm of the best time to take her information, the rhythm of the best time for her to give feedback or whatnot, right? And that's the part that you're.
Well, and I'm also not in the office all the time, which is great. I'm not an office person. That's not something I really enjoy.
Here's our office today. Right?
Yeah, no, I really enjoy being the freedom to move about the cabin.
Right, yeah.
But for her office and her staff, like I kind of float in maybe once a day or once every couple days. Particularly a lot more right now.
When you go in, do you tell them what they're doing wrong, or do you go in and say,
No, I actually, most of what I do there is ideas. So I'm big on efficiency, and so particularly with billing and a couple things. I would call it client experience, but it's patient experience. Touch points of the patient throughout the whole process.
Client journey.
Great client journey. I'm really focused on that. comes from a customer service background, 2 phone rings, pick up. If it rings more than twice, we're doing something wrong, right? That's my natural inclination. And the people that work for us are great. We don't have to really teach them a bunch of stuff but I hire with personality. I hire with gusto.
Yeah, you said you're hiring a new audiologist.
Mm-hmm.
Group interview? Did you play a catchphrase?
We did not
you
play
do any of that?
catchphrase. No. This one was a little different. So I did the initial interview on the phone, and then we did.
So it's your HR hat.
Yep, and then we did an in-person interview, a FaceTime interview or Zoom interview with me and Dr. Hooter.
Love it.
Yeah, and then after that, we made a decision. Well, who do we want to bring in? And so, in audiologists, I think they said there's 16,000 audiologists, and there's 30 million people with hearing loss. So it's a high demand position. I gotta pee.
Go pee.
I'm gonna pee.
Just go ahead and leave and do that. You don't need to do it right now. If you got to, you got to.
Yeah, let me pee. I was like, dude, I gotta pee so bad. Here, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I'll leave the microphone on for you.
I was wondering if I should push pause.
You may want to check your cameras.
Make sure they're still working.
Yeah. And do 2 seconds. Okay. We'll start with the hiring audiologist, I guess.
All right, we're recording.
Send this real quick. Is there a reason? Issue with that website. Still on?
No, it is.
Oh, look at that.
Maybe when that went off.
Oh, yeah, maybe so.
All right.
Guys, okay.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Everything come out all right?
Everything's great, dude.
Wonderful.
I feel so much better.
So,
Hire an audiologist. Or did you want to talk about something?
yeah, so I guess for my question would be, you said earlier, Joy's the best definitely in this area for sure,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the state. What is it that makes her, if you were to, 2 things. One, earlier you talked about how she feels it when somebody's hearing aid breaks, right? Which is great because that connection she's helping that person make. She knows how important that is for that person
Right.
to be able to play with their grandkids, right? To be able to walk on the street safely because they can hear things, right? So, I want to say that, and then 2, what would you tell someone who said, I'm having a hard time dinner? Why is she different? Because there's other audiology companies here in Waco.
Yeah.
Right? Why is she the best? Why is she better than someone else?
Well, I think there's
There's one 2 blocks away.
2 to 3 things. One is her patient care. And she cares deeply for the people that she sees.
Patient-centered. Okay.
She's definitely patient-focused. And her natural personality type is that if somebody's having an issue and she can't figure it out, it weighs on her. She'll take that problem home. We know a lot of audiologists, they're checking out at the door, right? Most employees, they just check out at the door. She, even as an employee, still did that. So that's just naturally who she is. She cares for the patient deeply. And then, and 2, best practices. Man, there's just a large discrepancy in most either hearing aid centers, hearing clinics, whatever you want to call them. That
would you say they're more product based and like
yeah,
revenue
at the end of the day, they're there to sell you something.
Got it.
Which goes to my third point, which is she doesn't want to sell you anything. She just knows that if this is the thing that's going to best help you, this is what you need. Cost is out of her hands. I mean, truly, like, and what we did, because she didn't want to feel like a salesperson, because she's not, is we made the same profit margin on each level of hearing aid. So instead of incentivizing like the higher end technology and making a larger margin, she gets to evaluate specific needs for each patient. So hey, you don't need the high end. You actually only need level 2, level 3. It's actually saving them money, right? Because of the cost. We make the same margin. So she can unbiased. She can give an unbiased opinion on a medical opinion that then can go and best treat that patient. So patient care, best practice. You know, she does a full scope. Like when you're in there, because you can do a hearing test and not do a full hearing test. You can do lots of things that look like you know what you're doing to the patient that are not the exhaustive list of things that you should be doing to find out what's wrong with that person.
Best practices.
And I will say it sometimes it is it's not sinister. Like sometimes it is intentional though. They're trying to see patients next, especially if they own their own clinics. Other times, it's because the education system failed. They did not teach that audiologist the proper techniques and procedures to problem solve. And other times, it's that person can't problem solve. So our new hire, we feel, is a great candidate. She's a new grad, getting married in June. She's really pumped she's coming from Ohio. They're coming to Texas.
Okay.
Her and her husband, he's about 6'5". Really, really nice Midwest folks, you know. And her ability to problem solve outmatched other competitors who have already been an audiologist. Her knowledge and so shout out to Kent State for prepping people the right way.
Kent State's audiology department.
Baby.
Keep it up, baby.
Kent State. So
keep getting those good candidates in there.
Yeah, we're really excited to have her. And I think the gut check on passed on the phone for both candidates that we were really looking at. Truly, they really did. Ideals matched what we offered. They liked. But I think for new hires and people that you want people that are excited about the opportunity. Not this is an opportunity, but this is the opportunity, right? And there's just a slight difference there. I think, people that have been in the industry could come across as jaded, particularly if they had bad managers, and rightfully so.
I mean, when you think when we talk about Joy, if she didn't choose to go entrepreneur route,
right,
and chose to go different clinic route,
yep,
she could maybe have come across that way.
It definitely. You definitely don't want to bring certain things in to interviews, and I think that's part of the process for some people. But at the end of the day, we were okay not hiring anybody. We want the right person,
right?
And I think we accomplished that. But no catchphrase. But what we did, they did come down for in person.
Okay.
Her and her husband both came in, and we're like, hey, we'll offer you a hotel. What are you guys staying? We'll take you out to dinner. They were like, oh, well, we're actually staying in Dallas, and we're already going to come down and check out Texas, so don't worry about it. And I was like, great, my kind of people. When we took them to lunch, we took them to Terry Black's.
Yep.
Shout out to Terry Black's. It's great.
Great barbecue.
They loved it, and it's
if you're gonna come to Texas, get some Terry Black's barbecue.
Get some real good barbecue. So they did, and what was really great was when we went through the line, and
all this is the interview. Do I like her husband? Of this.
It doesn't play into impact,
No.
but not really. I mean, you want somebody that can do the job, right? That's number one. But you get a better sense for who they are around their spouse, around their loved ones. In fact, we actually had her doing a hearing test on her fiance. And he's never had a hearing test. I was like, what do you mean you never had a hearing test? He's like, yeah, we just never had one. So like, he was like laughing the whole time, because it was fun. But I think she was great in the interview, knew all the things, great personality, and we think she's going to be a great fit. But one of the things I think that I took away is genuinely they didn't think we were going to pay for lunch. They were totally fine to pay for lunch themselves. And when I said, hey, oh no guys, we're like, this is on us, we invited you down, this is part of it. They're like, no, like we're totally fine paying. I'm like, no guys, seriously, like this is part of what we do, this is part of the recruitment process, that mindset of like low expectation and high gratitude is what you want from a person,
Especially in a service clinician type role.
Yeah, I mean, patient focused, right? So anyway, that was how we did it for audiologists.
That sounds great, man. I think that's wonderful. I know we've talked a little bit, we could talk mergers and acquisitions, you sold your company.
Like 3 exits,
so there's a lot we can do. We can talk real estate, right? There's all kinds of things we can go into.
Whatever it is that you want to talk about.
I know that.
It's only 10:30.
Is that all it is?
Nothing but time,
How much more battery life we got? So,
who knows?
I think it's absolutely wonderful. Of course, we've known each other for a few years now, at least, right? I consider us friends, right? You're one of the people I talk to the most here in Waco, and I know it's hard to get you on a podcast, so I appreciate you coming on.
No, this is great.
So,
love talking about myself. Who doesn't?
That's right. Hooter doesn't. So we'll come back, right, to some more business stuff, but I want to talk about fling golf for a second.
Okay.
It's a business too.
It is a business.
Right? And this kind of another opportunity, you're an opportunist, right? Another opportunity coming out. And I just want to, for those of you who don't know, look up Jacob Hooter, one of the top ranked fling golfers in the world, has represented the USA in the Fling Golf Ryder Cup in Europe one time.
British Cup.
The British Cup. Earned your spot then. Earned your spot again this year, although this year was a little bit easier, I think, to earn the spot than last year. Going to represent us again. Fling golf is new, right? Like not a lot of, it's the growing sport. What is it about you what's the opportunity you saw there? What attracted you to it? And then, you're darn good, like really good at it, right?
I'm pretty good.
We've gone and played and, and you put the time in.
Sure.
You put the time in, you put the effort, you put the work in. And it's funny, I've seen your mindset grow from when you first started doing fling golf and started to analyze competitive golf. Competitive fling golf, same thing, right? But it's just, for me, talk a little bit about how your mindset shifted from something that, I want to hear about the business, the opportunity part of it you saw, but also about the playing part of it and how you grew different. Your mindset's drastically different today, than it was when you first started. And how does that work in business too, right? Because when I first started my entrepreneurship journey, my mindset today is
totally different.
180 degrees different direction, pretty much. I think.
Fling golf came across. Actually, we were in a golf scramble.
I remember that. I was at. We were on the same team.
And so I had a stick. They were like, "All right, throw the ball."
I couldn't throw.
We couldn't throw it for nothing.
Nothing.
And then I was like, I should be better at throwing a ball than that. Just my own personality. I've got no lack of confidence. And I think that's probably
stupid confidence. We're calling it sometimes.
I think that's the case for like probably a lot of entrepreneurs. Like you just, I can do anything. Yeah, why not? Let's go try it. Maybe it's false bravado. I don't know, but I came across it, looked into it, bought a stick right after that, and still couldn't throw a ball. Like tried, couldn't throw it. But I ended up figuring out that there was like a professional league for it, and it was fairly small and fairly new. I mean, the company's only been around 11 or 12 years now, mostly East Coast based. And I thought, I'm never going to be in competition with golf because I don't have the time or the money because it's golf. Like, and I actually think I could be a good golfer, but the amount of time and effort and money you have to put in to be a good golfer most people just don't have. Like you're not hitting balls 5 days a week. You're not playing 3 times a week. You're not taking lessons twice a week. You're not doing that. And with fling golf, as I learned, it's really easy to learn how to play, right? Like anybody could probably go through a bucket of balls and play, but it's hard to master. That's kind of where we're starting to get to where a lot of the top players are starting to master the craft. I think there's even more levels to it than what we've accomplished so far.
Well, 10 years in, right?
10 years in.
So.
Yeah. I think the equipment's going to change. I think the distances can change.
Where do you see the equipment changing?
Well, I think right now we have one stick. The max length is 51 inches, and the head is what the head is. But I think there's ways of maneuvering the head and with regard to shaft placement, as well as aerodynamic flow, that would increase an increased coefficient, of like 5 to 7%, just off of that alone. That I think there's also things we can do. There's ideas of putting attachments, because right now it's just one stick, and you add a weight to, and then you turn it sideways and putt with it. Well, I think we can do better than that. I think we will do better than that. Whether that's a metallic attachment, or they just go, you know what, let's just add putters. I think they really like having one stick, and I don't mind putting with it. I actually putt pretty well with it. But I think length, stiffness of shaft, placement of the head itself, the angle of the head, I think all those things can adjust over time.
So one manufacturer currently.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So as other manufacturers come in,
yeah,
then that's where maybe some of those innovations can also.
Yeah, I mean they're lacking competition, but for a reason, right? Like I think if the sport continues to grow, and we're looking at ways of how do we grow it more regionally based, right? Like it's big on the East Coast. Lacrosse is big on the East Coast, but it's really big with military. Like veterans are taking up this sport left, right, and they're having success with it, really enjoying it. And we're looking at ways, how do we get more sticks in the hands of vets and active military. That's one thing that we're working on right now is potential a 501c3 that is geared towards impacting and benefiting veterans specifically, and those currently in the military. It's one stick, it's lightweight. They can travel with it to any fort. There's a lot of fort golf courses or base golf courses, and we're already sending that ship and seeing what we can do with it. But in general, it's a smaller sport. So as the sport grows and there's more players, now there's more incentive for already current shaft manufacturers to go, you know what, maybe we can sell an extra couple shafts doing this thing. Maybe. But there's some patents there, right, that are and some trademarks that are prohibiting certain things. So over time, I think it's very possible, whether that's in the manufacturing side of things or event side of things. I think there's a couple ways that can bring more money in and grow it.
Back to the beginning, what's the opportunity you saw that made you want to not just learn how to throw a ball better, but really be a part of helping it grow?
Yeah.
Where's the opportunity? What's the opportunity you saw? What's the
it's
monetization there?
It's not necessarily a financial.
Not necessarily monetized.
No. I think I'm just a competitive person, right? You know this about me. I can be competitive in golf and not be very good. Never
to the point where you're going to wrap your club around a tree, I'm sure. Never to that point.
Never to that point. That never happened. Is that why I have a new 5 shaft? Can't remember. It's a bad day. Blacked that one out,
Number 10.
Where was that? Ridgewood?
Cottonwood.
Cottonwood.
And the fling stick, that was number 2. That was hole number 2. Or no, hole number 9. Hole number 9.
Hole 9.
It was hole 9.
Yeah.
I mean, I may have thrown it 30 yards. I can throw it much further now.
Oh yeah, you're great at that. You should just play the sport, because and here's where I saw it, right? Is like mid-30s, I'm not. It's not that I'm unathletic, right? Because I was an athlete in high school and even in college, played a bunch of.
Some people might say debatable, but that's all right.
Hey, there's some athleticism to carry that tubo around, but the opportunity was, man, this looks really fun. I think this looks like something I would really enjoy doing, and And then my natural inclination is to go like, well, how good can I be at this? Like that's my natural with anything. And then I went to a professional tournament, and I was like, oh well, I'm not that far off from those guys, and I've only been playing a couple months. Let's see what happens. Fast forward 2 years later, now I won my first major tournament. There's 4 of them throughout the year. I won it.
I mean, you're 2-0 this year.
Well,
one's regional, one.
Technically 3-0.
3-0.
I've got two regionals, and then one major.
My apologies.
Yeah, sorry, man. Sorry to keep you up on the most recent stats, but the opportunity to play the best and then to be the best, I think is great for me. You know, there's money involved in this on the professional level. Never to the point that without sponsorship and some competition.
No Nike sponsorships. No.
Not yet.
No Hooter hearing hats yet.
Well, I mean, we could if we wanted to, but like.
But no, that's
it's really for the love of the game, you know. And I think that's the point is. People, you know, there's people that do hobby horsing, right? They ride little horses with sticks and they jump over stuff, and it's crazy athletic. Like. I couldn't jump over some of the stuff that they're jumping over.
Are they galloping or they're running?
No, they gallop. They act like they're a horse. Yeah, you've never seen this? Oh, dude, it's unbelievable. It's huge in
Your
Germany.
TikTok feed is way different
than
mine.
It's huge in Germany, and then you got, you know, all kind of unique sports in different countries, and I think for America, this is just one of them. You know, it is global. They have them across the globe, but man, if this could take off similar to pickleball, you know, I think it's hard because of 2 reasons. Television, right? If you can't get great advertising on the television because you have to have so much money involved in camera work to get the full field, and then 2, the level of play where it is right now. I think we've got it's the most competitive it's ever been. We've got guys that are probably somewhere between ranked 7 and 12 and in the world.
When does the senior league start? That'll be.
There's a senior league. There's a senior league now. You're too young for it. You're too young.
Are you sure? Not by much.
No, not by much. You're getting closer. So, but the opportunity is just to be on the forefront of stuff, right? And I think for any entrepreneur, there's a lot of those that are in fling golf. But any entrepreneur is always looking for the next rising star. And I think fling golf for me hits a lot of those things. But it's also a lot of fun. Helps me stay fit. Mm-hmm. And you know, maybe one day there's money, real big money.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. But for now, I get to see the country. You know, I've traveled to more states than I have, and I've been to the UK.
Virginia. Is there one in Virginia?
One in Virginia.
Is it close to Virginia Tech?
No. There's one in Kerr Lake, which is North Carolina. Virginia Tech's where? Richmond?
Virginia, I think so. I'm asking because I know that Baylor Club has an affiliate with Virginia Tech.
Oh, okay.
And we can do this again in Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, because they have another.
The next one's Pennsylvania. The next one's West Virginia. So Capon Springs, West Virginia.
Can't be that far from Virginia Tech if it's West Virginia. Isn't West Virginia shrinking? Isn't that state about to lose all its population because there's no industry, there's no business, so there's nothing there to keep younger
people. Well, the coal mine is shut down, right?
So you know, word is on the street with West Virginia that they're.
Yeah.
There's a lady that works here as a server from West Virginia. Mm-hmm. She says she ain't going back because there ain't nothing there for her.
I believe that.
That she's here, and when she leaves here, she might stay, or she graduates.
Well, you gotta. I think the thing that keeps West Virginia afloat is the fact that DC is 2.5, 3 hours away. Mm-hmm. Baltimore is 2 hours away. Mm-hmm. You've got Pittsburgh. You know, that's just north of there, right? So I think what you actually will end up seeing is a growth, and you already, and I know there is a growth of vacation to West Virginia. Right? It's a beautiful countryside.
It's got a lot of history.
It's a lot of woods, a lot of nature, right? Stuff that they don't get in DC, stuff they don't get in Philly or Baltimore or Pittsburgh, and people will take their vacations, to like a retreat style, resort style thing. Mm-hmm. In West Virginia, I mean, you got resorts that are $600 a night in West Virginia. So I think tourism will increase there, but you're right, they need the industry to come back into West Virginia.
So what do we see with Jacob Hooter, the Hoot Man, mm-hmm. with fling golf? What are we going to see the next 3 to 5 years, maybe?
mean, it's a really good question. I think we're really focused on.
Jacob.
I know. I'm sorry. I said we. I'm really focused on growing the sport. So when I go to these events, you talk about mindset.
Yeah.
When I was
I
playing,
don't think we've answered that yet.
No, but I will here. When I started this, the mindset was, well, I think I can play that at a high level, right? And then it was like frustration because I know I could see glimpses when I'm on a course of like really, really good play. Like as you're developing the skills, you can see little flashes. And then when you go to a tournament and you don't perform well, you go, well, what the heck's going on, Because I know in my mind what I'm capable of, I'm just not putting it together. And so there's a refinement process of not just skill, but of your mind. And a big shift that happened for me, and I think this actually applies to entrepreneurship, is, I was getting so mad playing. I was playing great, but the shots weren't going where I wanted them to. Like I was throwing it right, and the result was not what I wanted, right? So I'm doing everything I can do up to the point the ball leaves the stick. And once the ball is in the air, there's nothing else I can do about it. Once it leaves the putter, like there's nothing you can do about it. And I was getting frustrated with the outcome. And a friend of mine, Todd's like, dude, like it's golf, right? But I think this actually applies to life in that the point of it is you can only control what you can control. And then once you send that ball flying or once you send that ship down the river, there's outside forces. And same thing with entrepreneurship, right? And this is what knocks people down is they've done everything right. They start the business, COVID happens, right? Like we just saw that. It happened in my business. And the people that succeed are the folks that can adapt and change and go, I did everything right. I've evaluated, maybe I could have done something wrong, but it doesn't matter now, I have to change. And so with fling golf specifically, I have learned that if I focus my energy not on the outcome of my shot, right, but on the outcome of the round, and I can even focus on what that outcome is prior to, and that's essentially what I've done, is when I go to play a tournament now, I'm not worried about how I'm going to play. I know I'll play probably pretty good, and if I have a bad day, I have a bad day. I've done everything I can to prepare. And when it comes time to execute, I'll do everything I can to execute well. But my outcome on the day is already won before I even play around. So whether I win a tournament or I don't, my mindset is one of real simple. How can I have the people around me play as well as they can and have a great time? That's it. Those two things. I don't care who I'm playing with. If I'm playing with the best players in the world or somebody who just picked up a stick, how can I make it about them today? And if I make it about them, it eliminates the possibility that I make it about me. And my struggle on the course, and to some extent as an entrepreneur, has been about me. Like how do I do X, Y, and Z? How can I be benefited? Right? And I think the same thing for my golf game as it is in entrepreneurship is how can I X, Y, Z for them, right? Whatever that may be. So as an audiology clinic, well, how can I best help the staff do their jobs? How can I best help Dr. Hooter do her thing? How can I best help the patients have a great experience? How can I, that is my thought process. And transition it to my fling golf game, it's, hey, this guy's been playing 2 months. Let me learn about him. Let me have, you know what I mean? Like, and if you make it about them, they don't even realize it, right? Like we talk, like they have no idea that's my goal. My goal is to make sure that you have a great time today and that you play as well as you can. Not that I'm going to coach you, right? But I think if you're having a great time, you'll play better. And even if you don't play great, you're having a great time, it doesn't matter. And I think where guys go wrong on tour is they make it about themselves, right? And that's fair because it's a measuring stick of your own success, right? You're literally trying to see how well you can do. But I have found for me that I do so much better when I make it about other people. I think my mind is very powerful. I think everybody's mind is. And what you focus on is what you kind of get out of it. I've already put the focus in on playing well, right? And at that point, my body should naturally do certain things to play well. You know, I mean, that's
like chip in from off the green because you haven't,
right,
because you bogeyed the last 2 holes.
right. Whatever.
Something like that happens all the time.
All the time, and you just want to make sure. At least for me, my mindset is not. I know I'm good enough to win, right? I think there was a shift there, but there's been a huge shift of not making it about myself, and it's correlated like this. I don't make it about myself, I play better, you know, and those two things are correlated for me personally, and I would venture to say for a lot of folks, if they would do it that way, then what it does is it keeps you in a really even mindset, right? You have a great shot, great. You're back in the cart, you're talking to the guy about whatever, you know. You have a bad shot, great. You're back in the cart, you talk to the guy about the game.
Let's talk about the mindset with the preparation, because that has changed. Like, so for me, my example, like what I've seen. When you first started, it was a lot about technique and fundamentals. And then it grew from technique and fundamentals to thinking about the course you're playing and preparing for that course.
Sure.
And then from there, it grew to what type of grass the course has, how long the grass is, how did they cut it? You know, like it got so much more minute, minuscule details.
Yeah.
How am I lining my ball down, right? What's my routine for putting? Like all of those things were things that, in my mind, as you grew, your mind shifted into these much more detail-oriented type things.
Sure.
To prepare for the game.
Well, yeah.
You know, and
well, anything you start with is a picture this wide.
Right.
The better of an artist you are, the finer the strokes become. You know, the more detail you give to the strokes. But you're right. Like, it's like, hey, how do I get a ball to throw higher? You know, that's a really broad stroke idea. How do I get the ball to stop? You know, well, you got to throw it higher. All right, well, then I got to learn how to throw higher. Rhythm and all the, like, I have to have when I putt, I do the same thing every time. Every time. Doesn't matter. And by the time I am putting,
10 minutes later you putt.
Yeah, it takes a long time. It does. But that's my rhythm.
That's your rhythm.
And it's not, you know, it is long. It's not as long as some.
We'll leave it at that.
It's not as long. But the point is, I have the rhythm. By the time I'm standing over the ball, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just swinging the club.
Right.
You know, and the more rhythm you have, the less thought you have in your mind. And same things when you're throwing a ball or hitting a golf ball. The less you can think, the better off it kind of is.
Which means that you don't remember it afterwards, right? Like you
Dude,
have a hard time.
When people are like, oh yeah, doesn't winning feel good? Nah, it doesn't. It just, the difference between winning and coming in second or fourth or 14th, the difference is the word frustration. The only thing you feel on the losing side of it versus winning, for me, is frustration. Because I know what I'm capable of doing. And honestly, if I played as best as I could have played, and I know that, and somebody beats me, I probably don't even feel frustrated. You know, because I go through my entire round, and when I'm frustrated, I know exactly what shot I hit and win. And part of that is focused on me.
Mm-hmm.
The second part is, when I'm winning or when I'm playing really well, and I'm focused on other people, I couldn't tell you what my last shot was.
Right.
It doesn't matter, because I'm on to the next thing. So I think there's something to be said for readjusting your focus to the here and now, the present, and then and being able to control it, and then being able to relax, you know. But you're right. Like, as I've gotten better and maybe that's the natural step. As you get better and stuff, you are looking, you know, like you're looking at the details. You know, like the tour players are worried about their loft and their lie and their
spin rate, angle of attack,
all of the things, the bounce on the club, the grooves in the club, the weight of all the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
The average golfer wouldn't even know that thing existed, right? I think as I've gotten better at the sport, there's certainly more impact in that, and you're right. I mean, grass, dude, I couldn't putt. I'm only used to playing on Bermuda, and I go, what is bent grass? What is zoysia? How does that impact it? And you have to learn those things so that when you go play on them, you go, oh, well, bent grass is just it's straight up. There's no grain. You have to read the dirt. You're not reading the grass, you're reading the dirt. Bermuda, you're reading the grass because it's going to help pull that ball one way or the other.
Poana, you're reading the bounce.
Poana, you're reading the bounce. Zoysia, man, it looks fast, and it is not. It just is a stickier
it's
grass.
Squishy.
Yeah.
I love playing. To me, hitting a ball out of the fairway on Zoysia is like hitting a ball off a mat.
It's perfect.
It's like hitting a ball off a mat. And, I mean, it's so.
Shout out to Pebble Creek in
right.
College Station. They have Zoysia. It's
Okay.
a saltwater grass.
Okay.
And so being closer to the coast, you should see it more. But usually people use Bermuda, right? But the Zoysia, Paspalum. I'm sorry. Paspalum is
That's a saltwater.
It's a saltwater grass. Yeah.
I was just saying because Zoysia is a lot big Midwest.
Yeah, Midwest. Sorry. Which is better in shade as well down here in Texas is the Zoysia. But the Paspalum, people don't play on that a lot, and it looks fast. It's not. But it's the same feeling as hitting off a mat. When you hit off Paspalum, like if the fairway's Paspalum, it looks just awesome.
Like carpet.
Dude, it's great looking.
It's a nice little divot. Well, for you, it's not a divot.
Yeah, don't divot at all.
No divot.
Yeah, so
golf courses love fling golfers because they're not ruining the golf course.
they should, man.
Because you're not taking divots, you're not
Same green fee and way less maintenance.
Yeah.
They should really love it, and that's part of it. You know, it's education. We've been at the PGA show several years now, and people are starting to see it over and over and over again, and try it. You know?
I still think we need to have I'd love to see like old golf versus fling golf type of tournament deal, right? Where, you know, we're all teeing off from the Reds or something.
Yeah.
Move it up, right? But like, I don't know, I would think somewhere from what I can gather, 220 yards is a decent drive in fling golf. Like that's a really good drive in fling golf. Mm-hmm. So that's, you know, maybe a 5-iron or a 4-iron, and that's where you cap it.
Nah.
You think let them hit their driver?
Let them hit it because it won't matter. They can't get it to go straight.
Well, lesser men, right? I'm pretty competitive myself. I'm gonna hit that green. But anyway,
I think it's reality, man. Like,
but I think that would be fun.
They've done scrambles.
I think that would be fun because, I mean, you don't get to throw it as far. So when the course is set up correctly for a fling golfer, right? It's easier to be, in my opinion, a little more consistent with a fling stick than with a golf stick.
Oh, easy.
With a club.
Way easier to be. You're not going to get the dispersion left and right.
Not the right and left nearly as much.
Which is why it's beneficial for. I actually think it should be viewed as a training aid for golfers, right? Because
your golf is your club golf game has gotten better since you've started fling. I can attest.
Well, the reality of golf is you're trying to shoot the lowest score possible, but ego won't let you do that. Male golfers are trying to hit it as far as they can and shoot as low as possible. Now, that's not the game of golf. Right? The golf game is to hit 72 or better, and no one hits 72 or better. You know, on a muni course, like it just doesn't happen. And so the reality of what fling golf can be and what it should be viewed as by golfers is, hey, if I learn how to play this game, it'll actually show me something in my own golf game that I didn't have. And what that is the ability to keep the ball in fairway and lower your score. But not just that, it's like you don't have to hit a driver every chance you get. Like actually set yourself up for what the next shot is. So it's teaching course management way more than golf clubs or golf sticks will. And the local player doesn't, like, they know that they're not shooting well, but like if they did fling golf for a month, 2 months, they come back out, as long as they keep hitting their sticks, like they're going to come back out and shoot 5 to 10 strokes better. I guarantee it, because they're going, actually, I see those trees over there that would never impact me in fling golf, and those are definitely right where my driver is going to end up if I hit a bad one, right? Not where do I hit a good shot, where do I hit a bad shot? Oh, we'll take that out of play, you know? Let me hit a 5-iron or let me hit a 3-wood and put it in play, you know? You don't have to be on and 2 on a par 5. Believe it or not, like you don't have to.
Well, and that's what the professional golf is trying to get away from again. It used to be you had to hit the ball 3 times to get to a par 5, and then the long hitters started coming out, and they can hit it long and straight.
375.
They can hit it straight.
Right.
You know, Rory driving a green at 340. You know,
it's crazy.
So landing it, right? So I think that makes good sense, right? It's like they say in golf, you play smart.
Yeah.
Smart players hit the numbers, keep the ball in play, and they try to limit mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, But it's boring to play that way.
It's real boring.
It is boring to play that way.
What I find is when people are playing golf well and fling golf well as well, it doesn't look interesting. You know, it's like, oh, the ball went in the wall again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, oh, they put it on the green.
Mm-hmm.
They're never in the trees. They're never in the sand. It just looks really mundane. And you blink and you played with guys like this too, and you go, wait, what did you shoot today? You shot 76? Really? Are you sure?
I've been that guy before. I've been that guy.
I've only hit a 78 a couple times. Never 76.
67 is my best ever.
Dude.
Ever.
Can't imagine.
Oh, dude, the guys I was playing with, they were going crazy.
I bet.
You know, they were like...
What did it feel like, though? Did it feel just like a normal game?
It felt like, yeah, like...
The zone. Did you feel like you were in the zone?
100%.
See, I think the zone exists, and it's really hard to replicate, but I also don't think you know it in the moment. I think you can look back on it.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know I shot a 67.
Right.
I was done.
Your brain just blanks out.
I was done, and the guys were the ones telling me, you know, do you always shoot like this? Do you always play this good? Well, I usually end up with 3 or 4 birdies around, but usually 7 or 8 bogeys, you know,
right.
not you know, bogey free.
Yeah.
Right. It was bogey free. It was nice. It was easy. It was my favorite. I always tell people my favorite shot in golf. My favorite shot in golf is a tap in par.
Oh.
Tap in par is my favorite.
Really?
Now my favorite holes are 2 club holes. Because any hole that you only had to use 2 clubs on is a good hole, right? And so for me, tap in pars and 2 club holes, those were my goals on the moment.
Eagle action.
Little eagle action, little chip in,
par 3.
little chip in, you know, something, right?
Yeah.
But 2 club holes and tap in pars. To me, if I have a couple of 2 club holes around and I have several tap in pars around, like that's my day. I feel great.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it's interesting though, like being in the zone, you know, like there's flashes for everybody. Everybody has a good shot or whatever, or a good couple holes. To have a whole round over 4 hours and to look back and go, oh dude, I was just, people say locked in or whatever. I think there's a difference in locked in and in the zone. I think being locked in is a forceful thing.
Locked in is more like practice.
Well, I would say I've been in a tournament where I'm not playing, I'm not hitting green, and I forcefully tell myself, put the ball in the hole, and the focus is real tight, and the intensity is real high. I think that's being locked in, where it's like you're wound, but you're pointed. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think in the zone is
you're free flowing.
You're free flowing, dude. You're in the river, and there's nothing you can do about it.
So I think when I'm zoning, it's when for me, it's like I step over the ball and I just know it's going to do exactly what I want it to do when I hit it. Mm. Like I'm not like I step up to it and you just know and you just swing and it does exactly, you know, and I played with my cousin John and he made me, and it was a learning lesson. He made me tell him every shot before I hit it. He wanted to see the shot shape.
Yeah.
He wanted me to tell him the shot shape. He wanted me to tell him where it was going to land, you know, the yardage, blah, 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 all that stuff. And I'm a feel golfer, you know that, right? So I feel a lot. So it's hard for me to, like, I can feel the shot shape. That's not a problem. But, like, where I'm going to land it, and, like, I have ideas of where I want to land it, and I just feel it, you know? Mm-hmm. And when I'm swinging, that's really all I'm feeling, that picture. I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah.
But for me, that's like I love stepping up to the ball and just feeling like everything feels right and then just going. And for the most part, it does it. You know, I hate it when I take my time, really try to lock in to force that, and then you chunk it.
Yeah.
You know, you hit it, slice it, you know, or something.
You can't play golf and be thinking. You can have like little, like, I say that. The only thing I think when I'm swinging, like I'm making good contact, is whatever that thought of the day is.
And it might be a different thought.
Every day.
Yep.
Yeah. But with fling golf, there is no thought now, you know, with the way I throw, there's no thought. There's only intense focus on the target.
Which I think brings us to the point to where you are learning to master that.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to focus on the fundamentals. You're not thinking about anything other than feeling the picture.
And the result of the shot now I know exactly what my swing did. Exactly, right? And there's some broad strokes for what people, if it's low and left, you're doing this, high and right, this is what it's doing.
It's a swing.
But even now we're getting to where the club head is angled, right? The spin of the ball and how that impacted the flight, the direction of the wind and how to best deal with that.
Do you think there's going to be any changes with the ball itself? Because it's hard to get that ball to stop on a crowned green when you're 180 yards out.
Yeah, you're probably not with the ball.
No.
Probably not, just because of the cost to develop. I would think that we're probably just going to use the balls that we got. But there is a difference between using a Pinnacle and a Pro V1.
The reception into the green, I think, would be, that's really what you're not worried about compression.
No, but the flight,
the compression when it lands.
how the ball flies in the air, how consistently it goes that distance, and then how it's releasing on the green. So, a matte ball is more sticky. And I don't think players really realize that in golf, but like a matte kind of textured ball, if I'm playing really fast greens, that might be the ball I play, right? To slow it down just enough. But same thing, when you go to chip the ball, one hit,
lands softer.
It lands and then it grabs a little bit better, so that impacts how you view where you're chipping.
Is that just a matte ball or is that like a soft cover ball?
No, a matte
finish?
Literally the matte finish. A soft ball means nothing in fling golf.
Okay.
In fact, I really prefer, if I was going pure distance, I would either go with what I play right now, which is a Max Fly Tour X, or a Pinnacle Russian or Pinnacle Distance. They change it
for distance.
For
control.
If all I was doing for distance was that, well, that's why I play the Tour X.
That's the control.
Yeah, it's the best ball for me.
And do you have a natural draw,
I really like to go straight over top.
Straight over top.
Straight at it. But if the wind's coming off the left, I'll throw a draw spin on it to hold it. And depending on, I can shape shot now that a little bit better than.
Do you alter your swing to shape shot, or do you just change, or you just alter your grip?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
The grip can impact it, but so there's the neutral, which is pretty much all I use for the most part. Draw's a little closed, and then fade's a little open. But with the fade, you have to exacerbate the swing more across your body to really get it to go. And so a lot of guys throw a fade naturally because they're trying to generate power. And so on a drive, you'll see them, they do that.
Is that lost energy? Or?
I think it is, yeah. If they could, there's a couple ways to fix it, but basically getting the stick more vertical, you're going to get more distance. Or allowing it to be more of a lag throw, because there's times where you can try to rip it, but you're losing the inertia.
So if you're interested in fling golf, hit up Jacob Hooter.
Sure.
He's a great coach. He'll help you get better.
Yeah.
And you get to tell everyone, not one of the best players in the world trained you, coached you, right?
That's right.
So I wanted to tell you, a buddy of mine, 60s, former military guy, out of the blue sends me a TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hey, check out this sport. We got to try this sport. We got to play this sport. And it is a fling golfer on a driving range, throwing golf balls, talking about how tired his arms are for working out.
Yeah.
So I told the guy that texted me that, I was like, I've done it. It hurts. But if you want, I bet I could arrange us to play golf with the guy in the video because it was you.
It was me.
One of the videos you sent out.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Social media, it's a great thing.
Social, yeah. Oh man, there's marketing. So I'm going to switch gears again though.
Go ahead.
Right, because so again, we started music, right? Went all that route. Music and faith.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Go for it.
Go ahead.
So music and faith, I know, are huge parts of your life.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the things I love about you the most. But how does your background in Christian music influence how you approach businesses?
Well, it's really most of my music has been in church. Like I've never really forayed into like playing at bars or anything like that. And so most of those are volunteers, right? But what you learn, the lesson there is that, more of a practical thing, is that they're weekend warriors, right? They have their own lives, they have their own stuff going on. And I think that's important as an entrepreneur, right? Your people are here now working with you, but like they got lives outside of here, and that does impact how they work. Same thing impacts, So I learned that on Sundays and working as a team and highlighting people's skill sets. All that comes from music. I would also say that's probably where I learned a great deal about efficiency
in music
and professionalism.
Okay, in teaching music.
No, in the music industry, particularly in church music.
Okay.
And I've got just a ton of life lessons from it. One of the biggest though is if we're talking proficiency, the thing that a lot of churches lack is they treat their volunteers like volunteers, and they go,
what does that mean? What does that mean?
Well, show up when you show up, and we'll get done what we get done.
Without structure, you mean? Without that?
No, I mean the structure. Maybe it's just a lack of professionalism. So, but the churches that do it well, it's like, hey, show up at 8. Not show up at 8, but like we're starting at 8. Hey, practice starts at 8, right? That came from me from a obviously a collegiate background and band in high school, those kinds of things. But the parts that the churches I've been a part of that have done worship really well and that can maintain, to me it's great, just better management of people, is you're not treating them as volunteers, you treat them as professionals. And you're valuing their time and their input, not having them wait for you to pass out papers, right? Like not waiting for you to tune your guitar, not waiting on the sound guy to be ready. Like we are ready at 8. So there's an expectation that needs to be put out there. So to an extent, professionalism, right, and preparation is another one, right? Like in music, you never play it perfectly. You try and you try and you try and you try and you never play it perfectly. Every time you play it is different than the time before. But in collective, like with all the other musicians, there can be a zone for sure. And to do it with 75 people is you get the chills on your arms, right? Even an emotional experience.
When you don't hear anyone's voice, you just hear
the yeah. It's a really great, like if people have never been in music, they wouldn't get that. But man, when you've got a full orchestra or a full band playing, and everybody, and I think what it really is it stems from the conductor. Like the conductor is not really conducting; he is receiving the information from the players, and then he's outputting the information from the players. So like that's how the flute is connected to the tuba and the timpani to the clarinet in that setting. But then he also has another level of inspiration. And I think one of the greatest ones I've ever worked with was here at Baylor, Dr. Odajima. Man, the way that he expresses without words, right? Just facial expressions and movements.
And he's like really looking at whether a section or a player to get there.
You actually think he's looking right at you. It's almost like he's looking at you the whole time.
Yeah.
It's really incredible. And it's quite a thing. If you could ever put a camera on the back side and watch it, it's really, really neat. So maybe you could, you know him, Dr. O?
I sound like I need to meet him.
You should. He's that building right over there.
I've met a lady O, but it's a different thing.
Yeah. But in music, you learn professionalism, you learn preparation, you learn how to deal. There's a lot of hurry up and wait, particularly in marching, like a lot of hurry up and wait. So, but in church music specifically, carrying over the professionalism, caring for people's time, caring for people's lives, because you're marrying the faith in the music, right? So you can't just expect people to show up and be robots.
But if you can make it emotional and you can make it all those things, man, that's...
Well, yeah, emotion's a great resource for music, and I think it can be manipulated in the church to a negative impact. But I'm saying specifically to the team itself, you learn how to manage people when you're the leader of the worship team, and for me, my own personality as well is when people are, because they have lives, same thing goes in entrepreneurship. Like, things come up, people have obligations, people have responsibilities, and unfortunately you can't make people work, and I don't want to guilt people into working. I want them to be here, and so it's always an open door policy. It's like, you got to take care of what you got to take care of. I will solve the problem, and not every entrepreneur is like that. Like, you can't run a Fortune 500 company necessarily that way, but on a small scale, you know, when you're still involved in the business, yeah, it can throw your plans in a wrench. But having the compassion for your people and the understanding when you need to goes a long way. And I think that does come from my own personal faith, you know, background and story, and also just my own personality, right? Like how God has made me to be. I want people to work for me that want to work for me. And when it's your time to go somewhere else, an open hand policy, I think the same thing can be said in the church. Like, people come to this church to learn to grow, and when God calls them other places, you know, whether it's missionary or job or whatever, you have to have an open hand policy. Like, yeah.
Define that. What is an open hand policy?
People come into the hand, they go out of the hand. As a church leader, like as a worship pastor, which I have been, or a worship leader, people come and people go. And you have to be okay shepherding them when they're in your hand and encouraging them when they're leaving to somebody else's hand. I think the same thing for my employees. When people work for me, they're here now. I'm going to do everything I can for them here now. In fact, I actually want them to be at a place in 6 months, 12 months, 2 years from now that they don't want to be here because they're capped out. And they know that I've given them everything that I can give them. Now they need to go seek another job that can...
They've outgrown...
Right, they've outgrown it, right. So that's what I think is an open hand policy. And I think employers, and particularly small businesses, they don't have that because they count on those people day in and day out, right? And on a selfish level, it's like, yeah, but I need you here to do X, Y, and Z. And I don't think it should be that way, right? And so from my faith perspective, I believe that God's going to bring the people to me that I need to shepherd, I need to take care of. And I have to structure my business to do that. And so everything I hold is with an open hand. If your view is that everything you have, you're just a steward of and you don't own it, whether it's your money, your business, you know, your relationships, which I do. I believe that ultimately God is in control. That if I view it that way, all I'm doing is stewarding the assets and the relationships that I have. And so when it's time for people to leave, I might not want them to leave. Like, personally, I enjoy them. They do a great job. It's going to be a strain on the business. I have no other option but to encourage them and to love them and to be supportive of them. That's it. And I think as an entrepreneur who also has a strong Christian faith, like, those two things are married together, right? Because we see it in the church, we can emulate it in our business, and we're just called to love people, right? And so whatever love looks like in that season for that reason, right? Like, so, hey, you know, my husband got a new job, I gotta leave. Hey, we get it. That really sucks for us, but hey, when's your last day? We completely understand. And then, you know, we're going to send you a gift. We don't tell them that. Hey, but we're going to do it. We're going to send them a gift. We're going to say,
what's a gift?
Whatever.
Like a gift card, flowers,
fruit basket, you know, whatever. Yeah, you know. Well, every person's different, right? And
so something that's thoughtful.
It means something for
it's
them.
Thoughtful.
Yeah. Sometimes
brand
it's
new
money.
card.
Yeah. Sometimes it's money, but again, like, at the end of the day, they're not my people, right? They're God's. And so He's brought them to me for a reason and for a season. And I think we all operate in seasons. And when that season's over, and you gotta let go and let God. That's it. You know, I mean, but really, so that's an open hand policy.
I like it. I think a lot of entrepreneurs get into that rigmarole of almost believing like the employee is their property.
Yeah.
You know, like, no, I need you. You belong to me, right? You need to be here.
Right.
You know, and that.
Your time is allocated to me.
That's right.
So, but that's not the reality of life, you know. It'd be
But
great
it's also
if
that mindset of you're my employee, right?
Right.
Like I own you in a sense.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there's an entitlement there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love the idea of the open hand. You know, you're here with me while we're here. We're gonna do the best we can together. And when that time is over and you go somewhere else, I still love you. I still wish you the best.
I think it even happens in paid time off and time off in general. Like, man, people get so worked up about like just have a policy. Like, hey, if you tell me a week out that you're going to be out, great. And if you get sick and you have to be out, that sucks for you. You got to be out.
So I was running a brain injury rehab clinic, right? 16-bed brain injury rehab clinic in Iowa. We had about 57 employees, and the employees here was mine because it's healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Life happens.
Mm-hmm.
You have your schedule, but you also got kids. You also got parents.
Right.
You also got obligations and stuff comes up, right? And so it was constant. You know, we got that many employees.
Mm-hmm.
Something's always happening somewhere. And so we implemented the policy of, you know, I will approve pretty much any request for time off if you get your schedule covered for the time you want off.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It empowers them.
It worked.
Yeah.
I didn't, because it wasn't me having to make phone calls to try to solve the problem. They were able to solve the problem and then just tell me the solution. Hey, I need off Thursday, so George is going to work for me Thursday, and I'm working for him on Friday.
So I actually have this thing that you don't bring me problems, you bring me solutions.
Mm-hmm.
If you see a problem, find a solution.
That's part of the culture.
That's part of the culture.
That's part of what you've embedded in the onboarding.
That's
and
right.
That's what you were looking for in the interview process.
And what that does is it actually empowers the employee, right? Whether a 16-year-old kid or a 70-year-old grandma, like you're empowering them to be in control of their life, right? So we don't want victims.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want people that are victims of circumstance. We want people that have solutions that are, and again, that also goes all the way back to the game. Are they
the catchphrase?
I'm not kidding, dude. Absolutely. And I know who will work out and who doesn't from that. So yeah, the part of that culture is your job is to bring solutions. Like you have ownership in this as much as I do. You see something that needs to be fixed, fix it.
Love it.
That's it.
I think that empowerment goes a long way with staff, right? So
well, and it shows appreciation too. I'm not micromanaging you. I know you're 16, but you know your job, don't you?
So the new thing is like nothing. I don't know if it's new or not, but one of the things that's going out now is like having performance evaluations, right? Mm-hmm. That's what the shift is. It used to be, I hired you, 30-day, 60-day, 90-day. We're going to sit down, we're going to talk, progress, blah, blah, blah. Sure. We got benchmarks we're trying to get. Part of that onboarding process now they're talking about is what they call a scorecard, where you have a scorecard.
Okay.
And the scorecard is what success in your position looks like. So the metrics that you're measured on, right? The reason why I'm hiring you. These are the things I want you to do.
From the employer perspective or from the employee perspective?
Both, right? So from the employer perspective, I've created a job description. Mm-hmm. They're going to do X, Y, Z things. These X, Y, Z things they're doing are going to help in ABC areas, right?
Okay.
And the metrics that they're using to perform X, Y, and Z, right? The things that they need to get done, mm-hmm. the results of those things, right, are what we're measuring.
Okay.
Like this is what you're doing, but this is what we're measuring, right?
Okay.
The scorecard is, it's your scorecard, Jacob. You're owning it. You take responsibility for it.
Where do you score yourself?
Yeah. Oh. And then every Monday or every in the rhythm meetings, you're presenting out your performance based on your scorecard.
Interesting.
So you're taking the responsibility on how you're performing, right? And what it does is, because it's been laid out on exactly what the expectation is and what success looks like, and from my perspective, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm not looking for success. I have some minimum standards that I want you to meet, but I'm going to give you the top end standards. I'm going to give you the ideals, and that's what we're going to work towards, getting those ideals. I'm going to support you all along the way.
Scorecards is the new thing.
Scorecards is a new thing. But more so, it's scorecards translate that into the employee is evaluating themselves. And because when they come in, and like for instance, the most recent scorecard that I created for a couple was doing some social media posts, right? So all we're doing is we are gathering our baseline on engagement, gathering our baseline and stuff like that. But like the scorecard is pretty simple, right? Like, did you make 7 posts this week? Did they all fall in with our brand or tone or whatever? And did you remove the cap cut watermark on the videos that you put in, right? Take off that cap cut watermark at the end. And so those are, did you get these things done? And then it's, let's report on the engagement that we got.
Okay.
And then we're going to try to tie in the post.
And they rate themselves.
With and they're rating themselves. And that 7 posts, did I do 7 posts? Yes. You know, did I remove the cap cut watermark? Yes, on all 7 posts, yes. You know, like it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
But we're just starting.
Okay.
That scorecard is going to develop over time as they develop.
Okay.
Right? Because I just got them. I just inherited them.
Okay.
So.
Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, I'm interested because that's like the new thing. It's like what it's supposed to do is that alignment you're talking about, that cultural fit that you're looking for at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine bigger corporations that might have 1,500 employees.
Right. How do you implement it?
It allows them to it allows those entry level, actually employees at all levels, right, to go in and report on themselves.
Yeah.
On how they're performing.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is people just fire themselves.
Really?
Yeah, because
this sucks. I'm doing terrible.
I'm doing terrible. I'm not performing. You know, but it's it's a servant leader's job to come in and say, hey, here's our numbers. Like, how can we get better? And what can I do to help support you?
Right. And sometimes there's not anything you do.
There's
sometimes they just suck at their job.
I mean, I have a good friend that works at Amazon, and they're in the like support role, and so they have a computer that they push around, and it has every employee's rate of work at that moment, real time, and they have numbers they got to hit, and if they're not hitting those numbers, their job is to go to that employee, pull them aside, ask them what's going on, ask them why they're not hitting their numbers, ask them what they can do to support them.
Yeah.
And if there's a training, they do a little training right there to help them out or whatever.
Oh, that's good.
Right? But, I mean, that's being monitored, in real time.
Real time.
If you're an employee at Amazon.
But they have to.
They have to.
You can't you can't do what Amazon does on.
But it's their user experience is that,
right now.
efficient right now, get it done, right? And so they have those logistics, they have those check marks in place, right? To make sure that the workflow's going.
Until all of their workers are replaced by AI robots.
Which could happen.
It'll happen.
It
just won't happen tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
Maybe next
Robots
week.
are coming soon.
Oh, they are.
I envision our phones being little robots.
No.
I
think the doing this and the phone come up, and then it being able to read your mind. Like Elon Musk talked about it, and I never thought about it till he said it, and I go, oh, that's exactly the problem I'm experiencing. Is that I have so much in my mind that the hiccup between me and getting the digital work done is the device. Literally, me holding my phone and going, all right, I've got to respond to this email. I have to click it, open it up, and that's where I think he's going with Neuralink. Is Neuralink can just go, hey, send this email to John.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where we're headed.
But that's what everyone's trying to figure out right now.
Oh yeah, they'll figure it out at some point.
And so, because this one developer I talked to, his thing was AI has to be. It's going towards bespoke. It's a bespoke AI. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you just want to speak to it and it does everything you want it to do.
Well, the idea
that's the bespoke. The spoke, you speak.
Well, the reality of what, like, iPhone has Siri, right? It's like AI is now catching up to what we thought Siri was.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Siri, do blah 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 blah, right? Oh, look, she's listening.
Yeah.
But actually getting things done, right? And there's no reason we couldn't.
Right.
It's just the amount of computing power and stuff and processors that we now have access to that's going to allow it to happen.
Yeah, and that to me, that's why I could see a phone being a little robot, because I could be in a meeting with someone, put my phone there, make it look like a robot, right? And it's taking notes. it's recording, it's transcribing, it's comparing with what I'm saying to like past contracts, past things, right? It's sitting there in real time, and then I can say, hey so and so, hey phone, whatever,
Right.
Help me remember this or that, right? And what I think, one of the things that I see happening is, you always see it in the movies and stuff, right? Really, really rich people walking down with their personal assistant right next to them. Hey, do this, get this, blah, blah, blah. That's what a phone can be now, or that's what an AI can be.
Oh, sure.
Right, where that's what it's going to be, where I'm just doing my day, whatever,
right.
and I just say, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting that way.
It's an equalizer, right? Because it used to be, only high net worth individuals could afford that, right? But now, probably for about $500 a day, a week. Oh, I'm sorry,
A month.
I'll get it right eventually. $500 a month.
Depends on how much APIs call.
Right. That's right. You can pretty much have that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, AI is a whole nother area and topic that we get. Yeah, we'll save that. We'll have to have you back.
Sure.
For sure to come back. So if you could, if you could go back to your 22-year-old self, right? Because a lot of, there's a lot of young entrepreneurs right now. If you go back to your 22-year-old self, walking across the Baylor stage, what would be the advice that you would want to give that young Jacob Hooter that's walking across the stage at Baylor, knowing where you are now?
Well, I think I wouldn't want to have changed anything, at least not in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But could I have invested in Bitcoin? I think through things like that, because Bitcoin was big and like starting to get bigger in 2009 when I went to college, and by 2012, it was a thing. I could have bought some. I'd have a lot of money. So I think maybe some investments.
Okay.
So
future predictions.
Future predictions, classic. Go back in time, put money on the Red Sox, that kind of thing.
Don't bet on the Cowboys for a while.
Yeah, listen. Maybe play some wagers. But really, 22-year-old Jacob, I feel so much the same.
Yeah.
I was talking to Joy about this. I feel like I'm the same person. I was like, not that I haven't changed. I know I've changed, but I feel like the same person. And maybe that's just how it is as you get older. You just always feel like you're 22.
I think I'm 22. I don't know. I feel like.
I think my brain thinks I'm 22. It's really tough because I think the question is actually asking, hey, would you change anything? Would you told yourself anything, that would have changed the outcome? I don't think I would. Now, if I was talking to anybody that's 22 today, if they hadn't gone into school, I'd probably say things like, hey, go into the trades. Learn how to operate your own business, even if it's just a small thing on the side because of the tax benefits. AI is coming, get on it. It's here. And if you're not with it, you're going to be hurting as well.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. I know that AI, it's showing the same trends as internet and social media, right? Some quick to movers, right? But the masses are slow to move.
Yeah. And
a lot of time, by the time the masses are figuring out that it's here, they have to have it.
Right.
They're already so far behind the game.
Right.
It's nearly impossible to catch up. Mm-hmm. Some of them go out of business.
Yep.
It happened with .com, right? With the internet. Happened with social media. Now everyone knows they just have to be on social media.
Right.
You just have to. Doesn't matter. Hooter Hearing, a small little place, but it's on social media, right? It has to have that presence.
Right.
Again, slow movers, right? And some quick to move. Those that were quick to move, they've outpaced some of it, right? Same thing with AI. It's showing the same exact trends. Some quick movers, right? Some slow to movers, right? And I agree with you. Being on the quick end of it.
The holdup on AI is going to be the adaptation of human beings. I think big companies and all these others that are utilizing it, they already know.
Well, the bigger ones have been using it for.
But the masses, me and you and whoever else at the restaurant, how they're using it right now is not the way they're going to use it in a year or 2 years from now.
3 months from now.
Well, right, the way that it's moving.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, that's probably what I would say.
Sweet. So you've known me for a little bit. Actually, we'll go to this. Last question before the last one, right?
Okay.
Who do you think I should have on the podcast next? If there's anyone that you know of that deserves a spotlight. I mean, I'd love to get Joy out here for sure. I mean, I'll just throw that out there. But,
Oh yeah, she'll talk to you.
But that you know.
I mean, honestly, anybody from our golf group would be great. They've all ran. You know, I think he's a serial entrepreneur. Bob is, he's lived a heck of a life. That Bob, both on a corporate side of things and outside of that. Tony Jardy is another one. Had a full career in banking and then rolled into real estate. And he's, I think he said he's 66 years young. I can't remember how old he is, but
anyone you can think, because that's like my warm market network too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my question would be, I'm asking
outside of
our warm market. Right?
I mean, you could do.
And if I were to throw in more little caveat,
Mm-hmm.
like A, they deserve a spotlight because I know you know a lot of people that do, but B, they also might be open to AI, or they might be open to mergers and acquisitions. You know.
I mean, I think the fling off guys would be great. You think it's still recording?
Let's find out. If it's not, I need to up my game. It's the phone call.
Did it stop it?
Sure did.
Yeah.
This thing hasn't. I don't know how long this has been recording or not.
Well,
So
yeah.
we get
You got at least one, dude.
at least one. We need to put the microphones over there next time.
You should have. So I think Alex Van Allen and John Prulage with Fling Golf would be great.
What do they do?
They own the company.
Oh, okay. I've met them.
Yeah,
I know that,
They own the company because I think they're both real smart guys and have been successful in previous careers as well, with varied backgrounds. But then they are seeing how AI is impacting small business. Particularly in a sporting industry. I would be curious to know how it's impacting like maybe even somebody here at Baylor. Like it would be really interesting to know if at the music school, like, is there anything that's being used today, or is it the same system I was using, which is like, hey, you go practice, but is there AI now and are they using tablets? Or are they doing different things?
Here just the other day, Friday, because I was here with Hazel
Mm-hmm.
for breakfast. There was ESPN was out here, and on the big board there, the big McLean Stadium board, they were showing like Call of Duty battles. Like they had a gaming competition here.
Esports is apparently Baylor's ranked like number 1 in the world or something in esporting.
So it brought in all these different people from all these different schools.
Really?
And they had the live
Up on the thing
here.
Wow.
This was like a waiting room, so because it also had the camera on the teams that were playing against each other, right? So you could see where they were playing, which I think was just another suite here in the stadium.
Oh, that's cool.
And then there on the big screen, you could see the fight, and you could see who won and all that
That's really
stuff.
cool.
Yeah, and all the other contestants were kind of down there on the field when it was going on. It was really cool.
I imagine they have to have pretty high speed internet for that.
Well, actually, when we joined here, one of the things we said was you never have to worry about the internet.
Really?
Yeah, because he said that there's enough internet to cover the entire stadium on a game day.
Oh,
So they keep that internet still running.
I guess so.
So they said something I never got to worry about. So we'll find out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So last question. So since we've worked together, on properties,
Mm-hmm.
we've seen lots of properties together. We're currently working, together on a couple properties. Or you've just known me for a few years, what would you tell anyone who is looking at doing business with me or working with me? Like, what would you say to them about me?
Yeah. Well, you are a wonderful people person, and I think that comes from a place of genuine care. You look through the lens of a problem solver for sure. So when you're looking at people's businesses, you have a creative mind and an analytical mind as well. So you look at you've done it to me several times where like we're just talking about different, whether it's fling golf or whatever, and you pose a question, and I go, oh, I hadn't thought about that. And so I think you bring to light, not necessarily that you play devil's advocate. I think you just see different angles that as the person that's in the business can't see. And you really do listen to the full front of the problem, in order to get to better solutions. And I think the questions that you ask are very meaningful, where they pull out, you have to extract the right information to come up with the right answer, and you do a great job with that. So anybody that's looking to work with you, I think they can expect the exact same thing. You also are going to think about them probably way more than they think about you.
Yeah, all the time.
and that's who you want to do business with.
Mm-hmm.
So
I appreciate that. How about this interview? How's it going for you? You
good.
Come back sometime?
Yeah, I'm ready for lunch.
Yeah, me too. Let's go get something.
Longer
to eat.
than I thought, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
We'll see if we captured any of it.
Let's hope, man. But I sincerely though, man, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for
I
having me.
appreciate it, man. We'll do it again. And another shout out to Baylor Club, right? I mean, this has been gorgeous. Sitting up here, looking out with this sweet 416. So it's a great view, gentlemen. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. That's it for today's episode of the You Can Too podcast. Again, I'm your host, Eric Cantu, and we're here with Jacob Hooter. Thanks for coming in, Jacob. Appreciate it.
See you.
All right. Let's see if we
Good
can.
luck editing that.
Boy.